Welcome to the Wrong End of the Table podcast with me, Leah Panapa, Dean Morris and Andy Clay. Why the wrong end of the table? Well, Magic Mike pointed out that why am I sitting at the wrong end of the table? But that's where he has to be.
And the name was born.
So we chat, we talk about some of the big stories, the smaller stories, and we just have a good time, and we hope you enjoy it. Welcome to another episode of The Wrong End of the Table. Boy, we're nearly at the end of the year. Spooky. You are with me, Leah Panapa, Dean Morris, looking resplendent in a guitar top. You're not like that. I like that.
From Timu. Show us your G-string.
Show us.
Keeping young people employed.
And Andy Clay. And I like your T-shirt too. I like what you're wearing.
Well, your uncle.
I know, it is. It's my uncle. It's my uncle. G'day, uncle.
G'day.
And of course, Magic Mike.
Hello.
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 All right. So we've got a couple of questions, then we do a quick fire round. So let's jump into it. I'm ready.
All right, question one. They're talking about extending the parliamentary term to 4 years. Should they?
So in New Zealand, we do 3. It's 4 years in America.
I personally think so, because how much momentum do you get in 3 years, by the time you actually take over portfolios? 3 years seems to go pretty quick. Personally, I think 4 years would just give it enough time to settle in some ideas and concepts and see them out. Yeah,
actually, I'm not going to argue with you. I think 4 is... I mean, if you're not happy with who's in, it's just another year to kind of deal with it. But you're right. They don't have... No government has enough time to implement and see it kind of grow. So, 4 years, 4 more years.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, the first year you're sort of settling yourself in, finding out what you've got yourself in for. You got 1 year of governing, and then your third year is trying to do things to get you re-elected.
Yeah, well,
exactly. Yeah.
So you're right.
Or keep all the goodies for the,
so really there's only 1 year
of proper governing. And like you say, if you don't like the government, oh God, it's an extra year. But I think to govern effectively, a lot of countries are 5-year terms, of course.
Oh, yes, of course.
So...
Russia is 30 years.
Yes, very much so.
China is 100 years.
And in opposition, it's 30 years too, if you're opposed hard enough. But the trouble is, of course, and both parties actually agree, both major parties agree that it should be 4 years, but nobody wants to be the one, to concede the 4 years when they're about to not be government, right? You don't want to give the opposition the first go at 4 years.
Yeah. So how would that work?
Someone eventually sucks it up and goes, okay, we're doing it. Maybe, probably in a close election when they both have a chance of,
it's too tight to call.
I mean, I'd imagine so, but I think for the reasons that we've just articulated, both sides of the political spectrum understand that a more effective government comes in a 4th year.
Yeah.
For the reasons that we've said.
Definitely.
Yep. Gosh.
Boom. That was good.
Wow.
Oh, I like that.
Even Magic Mike's impressed.
I'm impressed. Okay. Question 2.
Yes.
Should sports stars and teams make political statements?
Would you like to go firstly, or would you like me to go first?
No, look, Andrew, this is kind of your thing. You're a sports person.
Of course they should be able to. Of course they should. They're a citizen like anybody else. If they want to have a political voice, they should. That's not the issue. The issue is how much general public's import puts on a sports person or any kind of celebrities. Is their point of view worth any more than the general public? So why should you be muzzled just because your occupation is playing sport? You should not be muzzled. Whether you pay attention to that person as a member of the public, that's up to you. That is... And I know we've got some freedom of speech advocates at this table. Freedom of speech. You should be able to make whatever, within the bounds of the laws, including the laws of your sport. Yeah. Not bringing your sport into disrepute. Yeah. You should be able to say what you want, whether it's we as members of the public, how much import we give that statement from that. And I'm not just sportsmen, I'll include any kind of celebrity outside the political. But I do get annoyed when politicians go, oh, why don't you stick to sports? I'm the politician, I know more. Well, you've come in from some other field to be a politician. That doesn't instantly, this is the moment you're voted in, doesn't instantly give you more knowledge on any given topic than anybody else.
No. How do you feel, I mean, as an individual, yes, you're right, they're a citizen. How do you feel when it's on the sports field and they're making like you go back when they took a knee, and and teams, like a team will do something.
So is
like a political.
Well,
do you like that?
I will give you an example. Whereas you have to be very careful to say they know they can't do it. So in 1968, 2 black Americans did the one fist in the air. You've seen this famous picture of they've got a glove on one hand and the other one's got a glove on the left and the right hand. There's 2 Tommy Smiths won, and they came first and third in the 100 meters at the 1968 Olympics.
right?
And it was a civil rights protests.
Yep.
And there's documentaries now how brave they were. They were standing up. They lost their careers and they did it. And everyone goes, wow, how amazing that they did that. How brave they were. They did that. At the time, they were vilified by the establishment. How dare you make a political statement representing your
stage.
country? But we all look back and go, they were in the right. It was a civil rights movement. They were oppressed. It was blah, blah, blah. So we have to be very careful in the moment that we're not the establishment saying, no, you shouldn't do that. Because in 20 or 30 years' time, sporting figure X might be hailed as a hero because they were ahead of their time and they were brave enough to maybe put their careers in jeopardy, potentially, for making a political statement.
I mean, you not to call you up on this, but you said that you've said that before about in 20, 30 years' time, you look back. You've said that about protesting and which side of history you're going to be on.
Yeah.
At the time, though, and that's a good example. But I mean, if you're representing a country or your team, I think you are there to do the job of what you are on the field to do. Let's take what the All Blacks did recently.
TJ Perenara?
Are they?
Yeah, and I disagree with what he did because
What did he do?
Well, it was I didn't see
He made a comment leading into the Haka about the treaty.
about the
yeah,
treaty,
yeah,
and then afterwards the team was seen posing with the Māori flag, and it's just very strong political leanings, right? And what they to me that shows that the All Blacks now are not politically neutral. They have drawn the line in the sand of where they are, and the All Blacks on a world stage.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I'm going to say it was a dick move.
Yeah.
But then you could argue...
He could have done this off the paddock on his own Instagram.
It's true. Yeah,
wrapped
that's true.
in the flag and supported.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm fine with that. I'm actually fine with that,
Because
but not on the paddock.
These sports teams must have contracts.
Oh no, he ran it.
nowadays.
Apparently, he ran it through management, and they went, "No, it's fine."
And the team...
But I will tell you this for free: the board behind closed doors are livid.
Yeah, I
They
can
actually
imagine.
did not know it was going to be that much.
Yeah.
They were bamboozled.
Wow.
I'm telling you, world exclusive here, team.
No, and they took it off their page or what have you, that part of the Haka.
Yeah.
But I've read some others, that have lost a lot of fans, but they've also gained a lot of fans. So it's an interesting one. I mean, this is far more under the radar, but a few months back, the All Whites walked off the field in a game against Qatar at halftime. They didn't come back at halftime because there was a racial slur made towards
Actually, no, I did hear
a
this.
New Zealand player who's of mixed race from a Qatari player who's also dark skinned, and they made a statement there, and it's not exactly the same, but it's similar-ish.
Yeah.
Do you make your political point now? The Qataris had paid for everything for New Zealand to go over and pay. Do you or are you brave in making your point? And it will always be this will always be a matter of opinion. It will never be a matter of fact. You know what I mean? Like that's right. That it'll always be a matter of opinion. You're right. You make a fair point. Do it in their own time, in their own space, and everyone knows who TJ Perenara is. So he still has that reach to the thing. And was that an appropriate time and place to do it? But it does get grey because you could argue, maybe a bit drawing a long bow, that doing a Maori, traditional Maori dance before the game. When not everyone's Maori, is that a political statement in of itself? Even though we've been doing it for 100 years.
Well, I say get rid of that.
But it never
Controversial.
It never used to.
Leah.
It used to be only away tests.
Yeah.
And,
Yes.
Yeah, and so all those
Yeah,
things.
it's
So
everywhere.
So are you bereft of any? And you'll see footballers a lot of the time they score a goal and they'll raise their shirts and underneath
I thought they just wanted to show off their
no, they'll
tum-tums.
sometimes have another shirt underneath with some political
Yes,
statement, and it's a
yeah.
grey. It's a grey area, because should you, I mean, if you went into your place of work wearing a rainbow-coloured, gay pride T-shirt, are you allowed to do that, or is that a political statement?
Well, the last company I worked for, they encouraged it, so yes.
Yeah,
but that was the company's way. So
but
I agree. If you've got a fallen person in your team, if someone has died or And you've seen it with football teams.
Yeah.
They'll wear the black band
Yeah.
when they come on, or a famous footballer's passed. I've got no issues with that.
Of course, yeah.
Because that's the team showing their respect. What I was, especially with TJ Perenara, it's a political statement. I don't want politics, but you can't. I mean, I know through centuries, decades, politics and sport have gone hand in hand.
They always,
don't really like it.
they never have not actually.
Yeah.
You know, obviously the Springbok Tour.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Perfect example.
A perfect example. Graham Murray refused to play for the All Blacks because he was, so he's making a political. How dare he? He was vilified for that. How dare he do that? How dare he, make that statement? And there's all sorts of things throughout history where people forget this. 49 Black African countries boycotted the 1976 Olympics because we ran there, because we competed in the 76 Olympics. We ruined the 76 Olympics largely for a lot of events because we played against South Africa early that year and they didn't turn up. The Kenyans didn't turn up. The Ugandans the Tanzanians, they didn't turn up because we were there.
Okay.
So was going to South Africa and playing against the Springboks, was that in of itself a political act? Because you've gone, even though you've made no statement, you've said you've implied that we are okay with that regime. That's a political statement of sorts by actually playing them. So how do you?
Yeah.
I don't think you can't separate it. But yeah, could TJ Perenara have done it in a different forum and still made his point? And he maybe had all his All Blacks mates in the shot with him. Possibly. That's a fair point. It's a fair point that you may be hijacking something that you're not.
That's the word. Actually, that's it. I felt it was hijacked.
That you don't really have the right to hijack as an individual.
Yeah.
You got your century of tradition. That that's a fair argument.
He used the Haka, which obviously for All Blacks is a big. I mean, this
Sacred.
this is a big deal. And he hijacked it, even though the team were all in.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
All right.
But he did still do his job, so you can't say he didn't do his job.
Now he's off to France.
Yep.
There
Anyway.
you go.
Ooh, quick fire.
Okay, I'm going to go first. Why? Because it's here.
Fair enough. And the winner is...
Oh, unusual. What do you think happens when you die?
You did.
A lot of people are sad.
Oh,
If I am,
well,
it's me.
Absolutely.
Woo.
Well, I nothing. I'm nothing. It's just
You believe that's it? That's it?
Lights out.
I believe you...
You believe me? Thanks.
I believe you. I believe your spirit goes somewhere.
Oh, that's okay.
You
You don't believe in the pearly? You're going to the pearly gates.
I don't think so.
You wouldn't get in, mate. So just as well.
No, I wouldn't. And
and you are.
yeah, and where's
Wrong-
your
wrong gate,
credentials?
buddy. Yeah.
I think you go. I think your spirit leaves your body and you go somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah,
But that's as far as you've thought.
well, yeah, I do believe in afterlife, but not like you're not driving around in a car and going down the dairy to get bread and milk and shit. You're
Listen, I didn't believe in reincarnation last time. I don't this time.
Look, the thing is, I do believe in a spirit and a soul, and
Yeah.
and that we are energy. But I just think when we die, it just dissipates. It
but
just
like
it
all
just
those
goes,
stories where you like all those people that are on the hospital bed and they die and they float above their body and they can look down and then they come back to life and they tell the story of there's so many similarities of
But that
those-
could be adrenaline kicking in. Could be lots of different things. So we don't, like that, because you haven't.
What's it called? The
There's an interesting drug that floats around in the body the moment you're born and the moment you die, and that's dimethyltryptophan, DMT.
Oh.
And it's called the God drug, and it's the only time that it exists in your brain is extreme stress of being born, which is, I think it's pretty stressful, and of course
Ask your mum.
dying.
Ask your mum.
Yeah. So and
when you die.
and when you die, and
So that kicks in, and
Yeah.
that could explain why we have these.
yeah, and you can have these ayahuasca kind of like parties or whatever.
Ayahuasca?
It was DMT basically.
Oh,
And when they they take the DMT, people think that they get an experience of talking to God.
right, interesting.
Yeah.
But I don't poo-poo anyone that says that they believe after you die there is something. And I mean, part of me must think there's something, because why would I still, talk to my mother, who's died?
Yeah,
Why do I still think she's around? Why do I still think my grandfather looks over me?
Because there's these energies.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm saying nothing it's done. You're done. Yet I still respect those that have gone.
Yeah.
That I still want to talk to them.
So how do you
I'm kind of
how do you explain?
Not really. I'll help you out there because they
Thanks,
exist.
Andrew.
They exist in your memory.
You got my back, babes.
They exist in your memory, and that's in your,
No, but
your memory is real.
But no, I feel that they're here. So now you know what I mean?
And feeling that they're here or them being here to you is the same thing, whether they physically are or not. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to you in practical sense to you. If you feel they're here, then it's real to you.
Yeah.
But what about those situations where your grandfather had a bird cage and birds, let's say blackbirds. He loved blackbirds, and he passed away. And a week after the funeral, a blackbird flies through your window and sits on the bench and just sits there.
Well, I mean, that could be
yeah.
the beautiful stuff, or it could just be coincidence.
Yeah.
Because there's enough birds in the world that sometime it's going to happen.
And
for somebody.
I think people do look for that as well.
They look for them as well.
They look for them.
But I'm kind of with you.
But it's good. I'm glad you brought that up because a lot of my friends believe that fantails or butterflies are their relatives.
And it's a beautiful thing to make you feel better, and that's nothing wrong with that. But I'm similar to you. I don't know anything. I'm sit between you. It could be the end of it. Could be nothing. Could be a sleep that we never wake up from.
Yeah.
Or it could be we exist. Clearly, we don't exist in this form anymore. But maybe we exist because you said that it dissipates your energy.
Yeah.
But it's a law of physics that energy is never lost or gained. It's transferred. So if your spirit is an energy of sorts and one that we, an unusual one, maybe it transfers someone else. I kind of hope so. Maybe space and time has different properties that we don't understand, that we can't comprehend. We can't comprehend space and time as it is. But they're both infinite. So when we pass, there might be different. We might exist in a moment rather than time might exist in a different way than we experience it.
But
now.
I don't believe you walk into a room and then, there's your dead grandmother, and Dean, you're over there. That's all your dead.
No, that's
relations over there. You live over there now, up in heaven.
No,
smorgasbord at 6. Get into it.
Are you in the 5:30 booking or the 8:30 booking?
But that's a sort of from your organised religions paint those pictures because it's an easy story to sell. Right, you go to heaven, you go through gates, and it's all fluffy clouds, and there's a guy in a big white robe with a big long white beard. It's an easy vision.
Mate, I've flown through those clouds to try and find it.
Vision yourself.
Can't find it.
So
I like the way you explain it. Yeah,
but you know what? At some point, every one of us will find out.
And do you know what actually heaven and hell is? This is what I have worked out.
I'm finding out what hell is right now.
I know. You've been in it for a while, right?
So
at this table.
Yeah. So heaven and hell is actually how you live your life on earth.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, well, that's one definition of it. Yeah. You have moments of heaven, you have moments of hell.
Okay.
Yep.
All I know is that Magic Mike and myself, we will be together, won't we, darling? Through time-space continuum.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's nervous about that.
I just like to make him feel creeped out.
He's going to say, can I see someone else in the other life, next life?
Are we open?
Are we exclusive after death?
Can I bring someone in?
Can I shag any ghost I want?
Open relationship in afterlife. What is it? What are we doing here?
You guys are terrible.
Yeah, put your hand down.
Can I have it? I've still got one more, haven't I?
Yeah.
Okay, quickly. What could you give a 30-minute presentation on with absolutely no preparation?
Easily.
I know. I knew you would say that.
Me.
Oh. No, I thought you'd do like a football.
I could do football.
You could do
Easy,
football for 30
easy.
minutes.
I could also do, I could do stand-up, like how to do stand-up comedy for 30 minutes, no problem.
I would talk about the history of the blues.
History of the
nice.
blues. Yeah.
Oh, I'd like to see that.
Yeah, actually. Well, I'd have to talk about radio and how you got how. Again, that's about me.
No, it's not. It's about radio.
Yeah, it's about radio.
So that's that joke about the guy that pulls up in the limo with the beautiful girl each side with the big fur coat and the rings all over his fingers and the beautiful hat, and he goes and walks in the club and he goes, "I sing the blues." Well, he's rich. What's he singing the blues for?
Oh, maybe your joke. Maybe your joke's better.
Oh,
Do you know what? I didn't pitch that to my audience who are stupid in this room.
Hang on.
If you're edging me to tell it, I'll tell it.
We weren't really.
Well, one joke. You told a joke. I
So
thought
there's this lady, and she decides to do some surgery on a labia.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not the prettiest, and so she wants to get it
pretty it up.
tidy it up. Yeah, exactly. So she goes to the surgeon. Surgeon agrees to do that, and but he says, she says, I want it to be totally secret. I don't want anyone to know about it. It's a very personal thing. And doctors, oh no, we understand that. That's fine. So we'll do the operation tomorrow. The procedure, cool. Yep. So the next day comes and she goes there, and she wakes up from the surgery, and the doctor walks in and says, "Oh, everything's gone really well. Like it's all good." And then she sees 3 roses next to her bed on a stand, and she goes, "What are the 3 roses for? I told you not to tell anybody." He goes, "Well, no, it's 1 rose is from me because you've gone through a hard time, and I just want to support you. And 1 rose is from me, and the other rose is from the nurse that helped in the procedure and now is looking after you." And she goes, "Well, what about the 3rd rose?" "Well, that's from John up in the burns unit. He thanks you for his new ears."
I don't know what to say, but my cerebral blues ones was not up to standard. I just hope the viewers understand what I'm working with here. I'm working with Philistines.
That was pretty good.
All right. Okay. Right. So Andy's already got his.
You can use that one, Andy, whenever you want, mate.
It's okay. I do comedy, not tragedy.
No, we'll go back to the question. What happens when you die?
No, was another question after that? Wasn't
No,
it?
that's yours. Go.
What's the strangest in the night, exchanging glances. What's the strangest dream you have had recently or ever?
Okay.
And how was I?
Oh, ever.
Well, you had your hand down my pants like that for a start.
I love a theme that goes through things.
I lost my ears and
And then I woke up with the most amazing ears. Isn't it funny?
they're all furry.
Isn't it?
Can cut these out.
No, that's good. Isn't it funny when you do dream of people? Hey.
There's been some you get like some go, I understand why they're, and then some you go, where I haven't thought about you for like 25 years, and what are you doing in my dream?
Like how do like when people pop into your dream? And look, we've all had them, right?
Yeah.
A little saucy dream about somebody. About somebody that's not your somebody.
Not your somebody.
Yeah.
And
anyway, that's
maybe you wouldn't even want to be your somebody sometimes.
Exactly. What is that about?
I don't know. Get out of my dream.
I did have a dream that years ago, and I will never forget because to this day it's still one of the craziest. I was not on drugs or drunk. I was holding on to a black and white rhino. Mm-hmm. So rhinos are not black and white to start with, right?
Like a zebra rhino.
No, it was more like a pinto horse.
Oh right, yeah.
Like a piebald,
Yeah.
like a piebald. And the big heads, and they've got the mine was a one horn. I was underneath him, like holding on with my legs up around, and he was galloping along the plains. And he kept, and I knew that if he dropped his head down any further, he'd just grind me into the ground. I'm hanging on. I could feel the wind and the galloping. And I said, "Please don't drop me. Please don't drop me." And he goes, "But you've been bad."
Are you sure that wasn't Mike just hopping on top of you?
No, listen. This is a great. I've remembered this for about 20 years. Strangest dream. And then he finally stopped and he dropped me on the ground. And then because we're in now it was the desert, there was a perfect little cottage with flowers around and a black man sitting in the window. He said, "You've got to go over and tell him that now. You've got to go and tell him the story." And the guy looked up and, I don't know if I haven't lost you already, he looked like Morgan Freeman.
Oh,
so I had to
knew
go,
Morgan Freeman was
So
going to
I
be
had to go over and then I woke up and I went, it was scary because I thought I was going to die. So anyway.
Did he go, "You get busy living or get busy dying"?
Must have given me some. How is that for a crazy?
But
I have remembered it for 20 years.
And do you know, like they say, dreams mean something, right? Because you dream about this, it means this. But what does that mean?
Do you know what I think it was? And I remember, I actually do, and I'm going to be brutally honest. I remember what this was. I had mucked around on a boyfriend.
Oh,
Yeah.
and he was
And he said, you've got to go and tell him.
He was a rhino?
And it wasn't Morgan Freeman. But I think I'd been unfaithful. I'd been unfaithful.
And you got to, you have to go tell him.
I was feeling guilty.
Right.
And the rhino was my subconscious or my...
Was a monkey on your back.
Naughty girl.
I know. I'm not proud of it, but,
It's a bit like Life of
I'm
Pi.
human.
Life of Pi. That's a good movie.
I do, because I remember telling my friend Paula,
Yeah,
and
sorry,
she
Paula.
said, you're feeling guilty because you've done what you've done. Anyway, I broke up with this guy, and that was the end of that. So,
And did you go on a date at the zoo with him? Is that
You
what
did-
it is?
I know. Where's the right?
Yeah, a picnic at the zoo.
He was a zoologist, and I felt really guilty.
I think my dream, I haven't had a reoccurring dream or anything like that, but now and then I have these weird dreams where 1 minute you're doing this, you're on a bus with people, the next minute you're doing something else.
Yeah, it's never flows, does it?
And it's,
Yeah.
And in each scene, there's people you know,
Yeah.
and it's, oh my God, I haven't seen you for,
Yeah.
I haven't seen, and the story means nothing. And it's just like,
I know.
Isn't that weird one where you're, and it's, I think it's got something to do with the kind of the hypnotic state where you're coming out of a sleep, maybe in the early morning, and something in real life will happen, and then it'll conflate with your actual dream.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
And like, and someone does sort of knock on your bedroom door and open it, and then the alligator eats them.
Yeah.
You know, like, but they were real, but that bit was real. I remember my one that I've remembered for years, and I think it's even reoccurred a few times, so it's stuck in my head, was I open the wardrobe, I take a step in, and I drop into water.
Oh,
I just
wow.
plummet into water.
And you're scared? Or it's
Well, I
just...
think I drown.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
but do you ever die in a dream?
No,
That is
maybe.
Yes. No.
You don't.
Sorry, no. Apparently you wake up before that.
Yeah, you know, I
anything.
can make myself wake up out of dreams.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
And there's another beautiful, and it's reoccurring. It's not even like a story, but it's a feeling that I get, and it's a dream thing where it's not me flying, but I take a step, I'm running, and I float for ages before I land.
Oh, that's a good dream.
And it's and it's beautiful, yeah. And
Those are great
And I float
dreams.
along, so it's not like I'm flying in the
Yeah,
air,
yeah,
but I'm my stride is like
Nice,
weightless,
weightless.
big long one.
There are two things.
float
I'm really into dreams. I dream a lot, but I've been told that if you fly or you have your gravity is,
Yeah.
it's a really positive dream. Like you
Yeah.
just
No,
kind
you
of
feel
feel
great.
really.
You walk out feeling
And
great.
the other one is, and I know I come back to horses because I love them, but if you can get on a horse and ride it
Yeah.
in your dream, it's another good. You feel free
Oh, wow.
because my
What
horse
if
is
you jump on a flying horse?
How good is that?
kicking goals.
That's the ultimate dream.
I love dreams.
That's,
I do
that's
love
when
them.
you're. Oh, I won't say that.
Anyway.
But some are weird. Some are weird.
Yeah.
How long
Yeah,
we got? How long we got? We need to move along.
Well, I think
Yep. Let's move along.
yeah, you've got one more, and
Okay.
then you've got one more, haven't you? Has he got one more?
Yep.
And then
Okay.
we've got yours.
Okay. What is your best imitation of a celebrity?
This has got to be yours.
People say to me, don't clear and give me justice. But what justice is there? You come to me my daughter's wedding day. No, and I cannot refuse you.
It's not a celebrity so much as a
that's
character.
brilliant.
Or-
You do
or-
characters then, because I can't do
A
anyway.
character, and for those of you who have a certain vintage, you will know this. I'll just put the microphone further back.
Okay.
I give you a country of social justice. Let me just say this to New Zealand. Stand back from the microphone, I can smell the uranium on your breath.
Yes, the late great David Loggy.
That is very
You
good.
too. Yeah, I can't. Oh no, you also do.
What?
You do reggae quite well, don't you? Do
Well, I can do it. That's impersonation of accent,
Yeah,
an
yeah.
accent, not a
Not a
person in
person.
particular. Yeah.
Can you
Um,
do John Campbell?
Oh,
Oh, hi. John Campbell here. Hi, I'm the world's nicest reporter.
Yeah.
Hi, how are you?
yeah. I can do Cher. But I'm. But I
Like a drag queen.
I can do a drag queen Cher because she's very deep,
Yeah.
But I can do it singing.
Yes, go on.
Right.
I was born on the wagon of a traveling show. My mama used to dance for the money they'd throw.
Yeah.
Girl.
What'd you do?
More drag queen Cher.
No, that's all right.
It was all
That's
right.
good. It's draggy.
Have you got any?
Oh, I do actually.
Go.
I think the cat is gonna whoopsie in the toilet.
Very nice. Very good. Very good. I forgot. That's very good.
Do you know what I love the best? Your face is so cute. You committed completely.
It's very good.
You saw it here, folks.
I know. Imagine Magic Mike is so judgy, eh? He judged my singing, he judged that.
I got another one.
Okay, go.
Well, I normally
Go,
do
go.
that a lot longer. That was a.
That's good.
Sure.
There's another singing one.
I'll go.
Cheryl Moana.
John
Roll,
Rolls. John
love
Rolls. The famous.
Magic Mike, can you do anybody?
No, I can't do nobody.
Oh, there is I want your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle.
Yeah. Sean Connery.
You were doing Sean, right?
Yeah.
All right, there we go, my friend. All right, ping, ping, choo, choo. We need the sound effect.
Oh, wait.
Shaken, not stirred.
Jeez, you got one job, buddy. One job. We're the talent, and he's just sitting there doing what?
I know.
Twiddling my thumb.
Soaking this all up.
What is the most random item you've found in the street? We've had this before.
Oh, have we?
Once upon a time.
Check it out. Check it out then.
Oh, I can answer that.
Actually, no, we can keep it because I've got one as well.
Yeah. Leah. I found Leah once.
If you want to do another.
No, it's fine.
Well, then I might tell the same story. I found some cheese.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, do another then.
Do another one.
Somehow that's...
Can I tell the story though?
Okay, no, fair
This
question.
is not really random in the street, but this is one of the most random things I've ever seen. So, the precursor, whatever you want to call it, to Auckland FC, the A-League Auckland team, we used to be back. Football. There was the football nights that were rubbish, and there was the football kings back in the late 90s, early 2000s. You remember those? And I was the ground announcer at Mount Smart. And they gave me license to do a little bit of whatever I wanted. If I wanted to crack a joke, I would, but nothing too much. But one of the weirdest things, the most random things I've ever seen in my life to this day, and people will still remind me about this, we were the football kings were playing the Chilean Olympic side in 2000 before they went to the Olympics as a practice game. And it was at Mount Smart. There's 10, 20, 15,000 people there. And halfway through the second half, there's virtually no security back in those days.
No, there wouldn't have been.
It's the craziest thing. This is absolutely true, and there's 1,000 people saw this. From the crowd, as calmly as you like, a young gentleman walked out of the crowd onto the field during the game with a car door. Walked on the field, put the car door in the centre circle, and calmly walked off while play was going on. That was one, and I had the microphone.
Like without the glass in the window, he just walked out with the door.
Just with the door, and just put it on the middle, and just calmly walked off. No security jumped him because there was no security back in those days.
What did you say?
Well, I thought this set of circumstances will never happen again.
No.
I have to nail this. So I put the microphone on in front of how many thousand people, went, ladies and gentlemen, patrons are reminded not to leave car doors on the field at any time. It's a true story. Absolutely true.
That is
absolutely true story.
What the hell?
And if you're missing the door when you go back to your car,
got a big laugh, and people
and
were
then
still
someone just went and got it, and that was that.
Yeah, and you get all these Chilean players going, is this maybe some weird New Zealand tradition that we don't... they're just looking around going, what is going on? And it's still the oddest thing. And if you think I'm making up, there were still people around that were there for that, and they go, yeah, I was at that game, and I heard you. Like, it's just the weirdest thing.
Well, our previous Prime Minister, you always used to get up on the podium of truth, remember, and go, kia ora, katoa, kadoa. So she could have been her, kadoa. She could not say katoa. All right, you can do that one then, great story.
Ah, that's classic.
Beats with cheese.
It's true. It's
story.
amazing.
If there's one habit that would be a deal breaker in dating someone, what would it be?
Oh, well, look,
One habit.
one habit, or I suppose kind of.
A habit. That's like a.
Well, I don't want them to be serial killers.
Yeah, well,
Maybe picking your nose and eating it.
No, smoking. I couldn't date a smoker.
Yeah.
Like I'm not
Yeah.
a.
What do they
never
say?
smoke.
If she smokes, she pokes.
Hey, what?
Hey!
I don't know.
Magic Mike, how's that with
secretly drinking down the other end of the table while we've been.
Yeah.
Someone just pressed the inappropriate button, didn't they?
Someone just poked the beer.
Yeah, smoking. I just don't. I couldn't date a smoker because I've never smoked an ashtray thing. Kissing an ashtray.
I would say.
Yeah, that's probably. Oh well, there's probably more.
I would say excessive drinking.
Yeah, same.
It's ugly. You're not excessive.
Well, excessive drinking / drinking and not being able to handle it.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Because I know most people that have, I've gone out with women that have drunk a lot less than Leah. In fact, most of them do. But but She's an experienced campaigner who can handle it for the most part. But I remember one. Oh, this is like
Yeah, I
literally
mean,
24, 25.
women getting drunk.
Yeah,
Yeah,
25 years
yeah.
ago, and she'd be fine, drink 2, fine, drink 3, fine, drink
And
4,
then just-
different person.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
idiot.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, so
Yeah.
something like that. Someone that
Yeah.
can't handle their alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Someone also could be once they change
they
with
turn
they turn
to someone else.
yeah,
No.
and start saying inappropriate stuff.
Yeah, loudly.
Yeah.
Like, Andrew, you're not funny. Stuff like that.
What?
You're,
Yeah.
Slap
Oh,
that
what?
bitch.
you're not amazing in bed. What?
Oh, so someone that lies as well.
Blatant liar.
What are you doing,
You're
lady?
lying.
Yeah.
Did you
Drunk.
have one more, or was that? Are we allowed one more?
Oh, yeah, he did the dream one. Yeah, not the dream, weird thing.
Oh,
the street
okay.
one too.
Is that us all done? Is that all us
Yeah,
done?
pretty much.
Do you know what though? What we will quickly do is because we're now nearly at the end of the year.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, so
This is the
I'll
end
go
of
around the
season
table.
3.
Yep.
Yeah. And also,
Wow.
what would you do you have a New Year's resolution?
Ah.
Do you believe in it? What would you like for the next
Yeah,
year, D?
100%. I'm going to be working on my fitness and health.
Nice. Yeah. That's probably the number one that we all say, isn't
Yeah,
it?
but no, I am serious this time because I don't want to be an unfit 53-year-old.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I'm going to be an unfit 53-year-old. I don't want to be an unfit 54-year-old.
4-year-old. Okay. Andy, is there a...
I'm the same. I'm going to work on Dean's fitness and health.
Well, you're more than welcome.
I don't want to sit opposite an unfit 54-year-old.
Nah, see.
So you're okay? There's nothing you want to do next year?
No, no. I've never made New Year's resolutions. To be
Yeah.
honest with you, sometimes I'll do a loose plan of what
Yeah.
the year to hold
Yeah.
for sure, but not like I'm gonna do that differently.
Yeah.
I don't. do it.
I say it, the health and fitness thing every year as well, and mean it. And then anyway, what I do want to get on top of is my time is not. I'm not.
Yeah.
I've kind of fallen away from how to plan my day. My time is just. I feel like I'm always chasing it, and I feel stressed because I look up and I've got to be doing my show, or I've got to be somewhere. I've got to do something.
Do you know the
And
secret to that?
I just want to really get on top of my time.
Do you know the secret to that?
What is
Is you make your list of the things you have to achieve that day, right?
Yeah.
And we all typically write a big list that we're never going to achieve.
Yeah.
So out of that list, then you go, what are the 4 absolute musts out of this list to achieve today? And you do those,
Yeah.
and the day becomes a lot
I
easier.
just want to be a bit more calm in
And
my
then
day.
don't book your day up so much that it's
Unachievable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's just like you do one task at a time.
Yeah.
That's it.
Magic Mike, well, did you have anything for 2025? Wow.
No, oh, you're
To
asking.
impersonate aeroplanes.
Wow.
No, I just need to start playing on my axe.
I am more
A lot
guitar.
more. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we want more guitar.
More
We
Yeah.
want
guitar.
more
More
guitar.
guitar.
I just haven't got time.
More guitar.
I
Ah,
feel
time.
like as if
Time.
We are the busiest.
Do you
one.
know? You know how you book things into your day, your week, whatever. You go, but you actually need to book time in as well, and just have a blank.
Yeah, do nothing.
Yep.
I hear what you're saying.
That's tomorrow for me. Sunday is like I got nothing on. I'll get out of bed at midday. I'll watch a movie in bed.
And that's super important, eh? Just to
100%.
not to do anything.
Yep.
This guy is the king of not doing anything.
No, that's the old me. I'm flat out there. Oh, 100%.
Gosh, I remember you used to like thrash the couch for hours.
That's when I just did stand up and I'd work for a good 3 or 4 hours a week. and I resented that.
Yeah. And now you're busy.
But now I'm busy, yeah.
so. Actually, there's one thing I
He's thought
need
about it.
to
He's got
start
another one.
doing is promoting my book.
Oh,
yes, he's a.
what's the book
Are
about?
you going to use? Are you? Hang on.
I am.
Oh my gosh, he's going to use our platform
A Nation in Creation.
to sell his book. I don't know if I agree with this.
Has you written this book?
Yeah. What is it called? Read it out, Dino.
A Nation in Creation.
A Nation in Creation.
What's it
It
about?
looks back at all the presidents of America.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and that's his.
Who's that person?
I know. It's
That's my pen name.
It's his pen name. It's actually. You should put Magic
So-
Mike. Why didn't you just?
A
put
Nation
no,
in
it's a-
Creation. Coming to a bookstore near you soon.
Oh, well, I'm like, wouldn't
Oh,
mind.
well done you.
Oh, yeah, wouldn't mind reading that.
Yeah.
Has it
All
got,
right.
got in there I can colour in?
Yeah, there was a
Oh, here's a few pictures.
Is there a Sudoku part in there or a color paint by numbers?
Oh, that looks
When
interesting.
did you do this?
about a month ago.
Oh,
Well,
well
finished
done.
it. Yeah.
Well done.
Keep
Well
that
done.
I
bloody
can't.
secret,
I
haven't it?
can't.
Actually,
Yes, very good.
I can't
Thanks.
believe you have just pushed that on our platform.
He's written a book. You should push it.
All right. Then.
Hell yeah.
All right. Okay. Look, we're out of time and we're out of a year. We'll be back in the new year, hopefully.
Season 4.
Yeah, season 4. Thank you to everyone that has supported us in this year.
Thanks to the Bear Spot.
Thank you to the Bear Spot, yeah, and that follow us week in and week out. We hope to come back next year bigger, brighter, stronger and faster. We will listen to you. We want you to talk to us because we are here together. Catch you next year. See you later.